All right, let's talk about something that can feel, well, a little terrifying for any homebuyer, the inspection report. It looks scary, I get it, but we're going to show you how to turn this thing from a source of total panic into, believe it or not, your best friend in this whole process.
So just imagine, you did it. You fought through the crazy market, you found the place, they accepted your offer, and man, you are just buzzing, thinking about getting those keys. It's a massive deal, right?
And then, thump, it lands in your inbox. That email, the one with that single super heavy attachment, the home inspection report. And suddenly, all that excitement, it's got a little side of, uh-oh, what do they find?
So you click on it and you see this, 42 pages. Seriously, it's just packed with technical jargon, pictures with all these arrows pointing at who knows what, and so many disclaimers. It is designed to feel overwhelming. But here is the secret, and it's a good one. The report itself, it actually tells you how to read it. Yeah, hidden in all that noise, there's a really clear signal telling you exactly what you need to care about. I mean, look at this. This is the key right here. The inspector is literally telling us, relax. They explain that most of what's in here is just, regular maintenance stuff. The things that really matter, the stuff you really gotta focus on, it all falls into just 4 categories.
Okay, so this right here, this is your magic filter for the whole document. We're on the hunt for just 4 things. First, major defects. The big, scary, expensive stuff. Second, things that could turn into major defects. Third, any issues that are going to mess with your financing or your insurance. And fourth, any immediate safety hazards. Pretty much everything else, it's secondary.
All right, so let's put this framework to the chest. We're going to decode the red flags using real examples straight from this report. Let's dig in and see what we find.
First up, the one everybody dreads, major defects. This is the category we're all secretly terrified of, right? The potential deal killer.
So the report defines this as something really severe, like a, quote, significant structural failure. And here's the great news. In this report, and honestly in a lot of them, the inspector didn't find any. So you can take a big breath. The bones of the house are good. Okay, category 2. This one's all about looking into the future. These are the little things, maybe cheap to fix today, that could, rot or flood or just totally crumble into a massive problem down the road if you ignore them. And the inspector gives us a perfect example of what he means. Think about a small water leak coming from a piece of roof flashing. Sounds tiny, right? But over time, that little drip, drip, drip can lead to rot, mold, even structural damage. It's a classic case of a small problem just waiting to become a huge one. So what did our inspector find in this actual house? Well, under the roofing section, he noted 2 layers of shingles. Now, it's not leaking right now, but that extra weight shortens the life of the roof and puts a ton of stress on the structure. This is a perfect example of something that could lead to a major defect later on.
Now, what about category 3? Well, our sample report didn't actually flag any issues that would mess up financing or insurance. Things like, say, ancient wiring or a roof that's just uninsurable. So that's good. But it did find things in category 4, safety hazards. And these are the non-negotiables. The stuff that could directly hurt you or your family, and you'll always want to get these fixed.
A classic example the report gives is a lack of GFCI protection. So, what is that? GFCI stands for Ground Fault Circuit Interrupter. It's that outlet, you've seen them, with the little test and reset buttons you find near sinks. What it does is shut off the power instantly if it senses a problem, which prevents you from getting a nasty electric shock. It's a huge safety feature. And well, what do you know? In the kitchen section of our report, the inspector flagged exactly that. He found missing GFCI protection at the kitchen counter. This is a super clear, actionable safety hazard. It's not crazy expensive to fix, but it is absolutely critical. This is exactly the kind of thing you're looking for in this report. Okay, so we've used our filter to find the big, important stuff. But what about everything else in those 42 pages? Now we're going to look at the inspector's other language. And, maybe just as important, what an inspection doesn't cover. You're going to see phrases like this one a lot. Monitoring recommended. For instance, the inspector says the skylights look okay for now, but he recommends monitoring them for leaks. See, this isn't a defect, it's more of a heads up. It's the inspector basically saying, hey,
Just keep an eye on this. It's a known potential trouble spot.
And this is a great way to see the difference in urgency. On one hand, you have improvement recommended. Something like swapping out old rubber laundry hoses for steel ones. It's a good idea, a best practice. But then you have correction recommended, like when the hot and cold water are hooked up backwards in a shower. That's an actual problem that needs to be fixed. Understanding this language really helps you build your to-do list.
Okay, this part is so important for managing your expectations. The report itself will tell you what an inspector is not required to do. They can't see the future, they won't give you a repair estimate, they're not going to move the seller's furniture to look behind it, and they're not required to inspect for things like mold, asbestos, or pests. You have to remember, an inspection is not a warranty on the house. It's a snapshot of one day in time. So, after you've gone through all this, what are you left with? It's not a pass-fail grade on the house. Not at all. What you have is an action plan. It's a powerful tool for your negotiations, a starting point for your own to-do list, and a guide for that final walkthrough before you sign on the dotted line.
In fact, a lot of reports give you a pre-closing checklist, just like this one. It's basically a reminder to go back and double-check everything one last time. Turn on the heat and the AC. Run all the appliances. Run the water in every sink. Flush every toilet. Open and close all the doors and windows, and definitely test all the smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. This is your last chance to make sure everything's in the condition you expect it to be.
So in the end, that big, scary report, it isn't a verdict. It's not telling you to buy or run away. It's a roadmap. It gives you the knowledge and the power to negotiate smartly, to plan for the future, and to walk into your new home with your eyes wide open. So the only real question left is, where are you going to let that roadmap guide you?